Okay, in the last video we added finishers to our game and learned how to blend animation blueprints with montages. In this video, we're going to build on that system by adding combos, launchers, and air hit reactions. Let's start by fixing the air hit reaction. For this example, I'll be using the hit air montage. If you watch the animation closely, you'll notice that once the montage finishes, the character snaps directly back into the idle animation. The transition feels abrupt and doesn't look very natural. There are two ways to solve this. The first method is to chain multiple montages together. This is the approach I'm using in the video. The character plays the air hit montage, transitions into a knockdown montage on the ground, and then plays a get up montage before returning to idle. The second method is to handle everything inside the animation blueprint by blending between states. If we look at the locomotion graph we created earlier, we want the character to move through the following sequence: idle, then knocked out, then get up, then idle. Even though the montage is controlling the animation initially, the animation blueprint will handle the recovery sequence afterward. We'll use the Boolean variables we created in the previous video to control these transitions, along with small delays between each state to ensure the animations have enough time to play before moving on to the next transition. This is exactly the same approach we used for the finisher recovery system. Now let's add a launcher attack. Imagine a powerful uppercut that sends the opponent into the air. We can achieve this using the launch character node. The setup is very similar to the knockback system we created previously. Instead of using a forward vector, we'll use a get actor up vector node and multiply it by a launch force value. The higher the value, the higher the character will be launched. Once the launch force reaches around 500 or higher, you'll notice that the character immediately switches to the standard falling animations. This happens because of the transition rules inside the animation blueprint. To solve this, we're going to create a new Boolean variable called isAirHit. This variable will tell the animation blueprint to play a special air hit animation instead of the normal falling animation. Just like the other animation blueprint variables we've created so far, we need a matching isAirHit variable inside both character blueprints. Then, inside the animation blueprint, we'll make sure the variable is updated whenever its state changes, so it can be used throughout the animation graph. If we look inside the main state's animation graph, you'll find the transition between jumping and to falling. The current transition requires velocity greater than 100 is falling equals true. All we need to do is add one more condition. Is air hit must be false. This prevents the character from entering the normal falling state whenever they're launched by an attack. Since the isAirHit variable will be true after a launcher, the transition won't occur. Following the state machine further, you'll notice that all of the falling transitions eventually lead into the fall loop animation. Instead of using the fall loop, we want a different animation whenever isAirHit is true. A simple way to do this is with a blend space. We'll create a blend space with a value range from 0 to 1. At value 0, we'll place the normal fall animation. At value 1, we'll place the hit bound animation. Before doing that, you may notice that the fall animation uses the Quinn skeleton. Since my project uses the SK mannequin skeleton, I first had to retarget or export the animation so it could work correctly with the mannequin. Once that's done, set the blend space axis range from 0 to 1 and place the animations accordingly. Now the isAirHit variable can directly drive the blend space. False equals 0, which plays the normal fall animation. True equals 1, which plays the air hit reaction animation. Next, let's add the launch logic to our combat system. We can copy this setup into the hit macro used by both characters. To distinguish between knockback attacks and launcher attacks, we'll use the force value. If the force value is below 0, we'll treat it as a launcher and execute the air hit logic. This gives us a simple way to support multiple reaction types using the same damage system. Now let's move on to combo collisions. Currently, our montage macro only supports enabling collision for one limb at a time. That's fine for a single punch, but it becomes a problem when a combo includes multiple attacks using different limbs. For example, left-hand punch, right-hand punch, left kick, right kick. The current setup can't handle that efficiently. The solution is to create a selectable list of collision capsules and send that selection into a new macro that enables and disables the appropriate collisions during the combo. Let's build that system. First, create an enumeration. In the content browser, right-click and select Blueprints, then Enumeration. Name it whatever you like. I called mine Collision Enum. Open it and add entries for all the collision capsules used by your character. For example, left hand, right hand, left foot, right foot. Once you've added the entries, enable bitmask flags. Now return to the blueprint. Add a Make Bitmask node. In the Details panel, assign the collision enum we just created. Create a second Make Bitmask node and connect both using a bitwise AND node. The logic is very straightforward. If a collision capsule exists in both selections, the result will be greater than 0. If it doesn't exist, the result will be 0. We can use a branch node to determine whether collision should be enabled or disabled. Once everything is working, collapse the logic into a macro. I called mine collision macro. This macro allows us to selectively activate only the collision capsules needed for each attack within a combo sequence. Next, make sure each attack in your combo montage triggers the appropriate Notify hit event. As long as those notifies are connected correctly and the collision macro is receiving the correct selections, the system should work exactly as intended. If you're unsure about the setup, use the existing montage macro as a reference. During testing, I discovered an issue where the character could damage itself. The problem came from the validation logic inside the hit macro. Originally, I was checking the hit object directly to determine whether the target was the same character. For some reason, that check wasn't reliable in this setup. Instead, I switched to comparing the display names of the actors, and that solved the issue. Finally, let's improve the knockdown recovery. Earlier, we used montage chaining to create a smooth slide animation before the get up animation. We can recreate that same effect entirely inside the animation blueprint. Using the same blend space and transition techniques we applied to the fall loop system, we can add the slide animation as part of the knocked out state before transitioning into get up. Just remember to adjust the transition delays to match the timing of your specific animations. And with that, we now have launchers, air hit reactions, combo collision handling, multi-limb attacks, and smoother knockdown recovery animations fully integrated into our combat system.